Hey guys, this is going to be a tutorial on how to do color scheme cancellation on FTO and all the various tips and tricks related to it. So firstly, let me explain what color scheme cancellation is. This is the most important when you're building centers. It could be at any stage, but usually it's most common to do during the E-centers. Okay, so here's an example of when you might want to use color scheme cancellation. So let's say you want to build the gray center. So this is after you finish the first two triple stage, and now you're on the E centers. So you're looking around, and you see, let's you're holding it like this. All you see are these two. What you can do is you can form the large trap simply by just bringing this edge here, and this will be forming it in the wrong color scheme, right? But this is obviously very easy to do. It's just two moves. If you wanted to do it in the correct color scheme, obviously it'd be a lot more complicated with these two. In fact, I can't really see an easy way to do it because you would need a triangle either here or here, and obviously we don't have that. You could also try to make it the correct way with the blue edge, right? The gray blue edge. But if you're just holding like this, it'd be very easy to just do that, pair it, and then worry about correcting the color scheme after. So one important thing to note is that while you're doing this color scheme cancellation, you recognize in advance whether the large trap that you're building is in the correct color scheme or not. So if it is, then you know that when you're forming the small trap, you can just immediately insert it in and then move on. But then obviously if it's in the wrong color scheme, then you would have to fix it. So color scheme cancellation is also especially helpful during the last two centers because this is often when you have the most constraints for what moves you're allowed to do because you already formed this center, right? So here, after the gray one, we have to build the orange center here, and we see that we already have a triangle edge pair here, and the other edge, the only place it can go is here, but that would form the wrong, that would be in the wrong color scheme. But that's fine because that's like the easiest large trap that we could build. We could try to form a large trap with the correct color scheme by sort of doing it like using the brute force method. So for example, you might want to do like you might want to pair the purple with this orange yellow pair like that, but that's a lot more moves than simply just forming it like that and then correcting it afterwards. So that leads into the case where we have a edge and a triangle not adjacent on the top. So in order to set up the cancellation alg in the most efficient way, you would want to honestly it would just be forming the pair the normal way, and then that would bring this triangle down, which is exactly in the right place that we need it to be. So you do that. Because the U layer is already on top, we would want to orient this first, and then orient this, and then now insert like that. So while we're doing the color scheme cancellation, we're trying to minimize the amount of extraneous wide arm moves or AOFs that we have to do in order to get to the next step. So there are cases where color scheme cancellation isn't as useful. So this is usually when you're doing the E-centers, and let's say you have a small trap already solved, and we're trying to pair this small trap with the other edge. So obviously in a case like this, it's very easy to place the triangle or to place the edge already in the place that would yield in the correct color scheme. So because the color scheme cancellation does add like a little bit of moves at the very end, if all else is held equal, it would be more advantageous here in this case to just attach it like so and then solve the rest of the center. So in general, there aren't that many cases for first center where I'd want to use color scheme cancellation. It's like usually almost always the case that it's more efficient to just solve the trap correctly to begin with, and then you'll be able to have a small trap solution that's like not too bad. But like this is like one of the rare cases where I think you really can't avoid color scheme cancellation. So you could try to pair it like correctly, maybe like that or something, but that doesn't really leave the rest of the solution for the first center, like it's not that nice basically. So what I'll do for this is you would put the one of the triangles, um, yeah, you'd move one of the triangles down, and then just do the color scheme cancellation alg by orienting both of the faces, right? Because like from this state, there's really no way to do any color scheme cancellation there. So perhaps maybe you'd hold it like this, and then you'd sort of do those two moves first, and then finish off with a trigger like that. Here's another example that introduces perhaps something else to think about while you're doing this color scheme cancellation. So for in this case, for the gray centers, you can technically create the right color scheme like that, but that doesn't leave the last triple too easy to do. It's a little bit awkward. It's not like a entangled entangled triangles case, so that's not too easy. So what you can do is that you can form a large trap just with these two, and that'll preserve this block, right? I wouldn't look too far ahead into like where this would end up, but basically be attached like that. So yeah, so that's what I'd do. You can't do it that way because that'll leave you in the same case as before. So you'd have to pair the large trap that way. And then here, here we see that the triangle is now not in the right location in order to go right into the color scheme cancellation alg. So now to finish off the solution for this, I would move this in the correct location. So I would bring this up, do this trigger, and bring it down. And now the triangle is in the correct location for the alg. So I would be able to, so this is also in the correct location. So then you just have to AUF, do a U, and then insert it like so. Something you can take advantage of while you're doing when you've already built the large trap in the wrong color scheme is to take advantage of these cases where you have the edge and the triangle not adjacent on any of the faces, like here. Yeah, I guess those are the only two faces. So you can always do this in the most efficient way possible by bringing the other triangle is going to be in the other face, in one of the other faces, right? What you'd want to do is have the triangle aligned in the position that it would attach to the edge with, right? Like if it's on this side, bringing it up won't make it adjacent. So you'd want to place it there. And so what you can always do is when it's in this state, bringing it up would cause this triangle to be in the right, it's already going to be in the right state. And then you can do the color scheme cancellation like so. Let's say instead, maybe it's like oriented like that. In fact, for all these cases, it's actually very easy to force the color scheme cancellation alg to already be made for you, right? You just attach the triangle, and at the same time you'd orient the pair, and then when you bring it in, all that's left is to insert it. I don't really know what else to go over in this video, but if there's any more things you want me to clarify about color scheme cancellation and things related to it, then definitely let me know in the comments. Yeah, I hope any part of this video was helpful to you. I've been using color scheme cancellation like basically since I started doing FTO, like all the way back in 2022. So for me, it always came very naturally, but I guess for a lot of people, they're ingrained to solve the large trap correctly to begin with, and that sometimes leads to a lot more moves to solve the centers. So hopefully this speeds up your solves, and yeah, it does take a bit of time to get used to